Hello and welcome back to the next installment of my mapping series. So as I said last time, I want to work further on Toropino over here, namely putting the buildings on this side of the road already. Let's look at how that looked. So there's two big hamlets here apparently that have gardens, and yeah, that's basically it. Oh yeah, and then there's that other hamlet that for some reason isn't on here, maybe because it was too destroyed, which is over there, which is actually where I'm going to start. And this time I won't use the normal destroyed hut static, but just make a mound of snow, put a bunch of destroyed looking pieces of wooden board in there, and I'm gonna be done with it. Oh, and a chimney, of course, because that looks sweet. Okay, pretty flat terrain, not much to keep in mind. So, just gonna... where was the hut? Let's say we will put it right here. And make just a rough mound of snow here. And then parts of the fence around it as well, of course. Then the chimney. I was under Russia urban, I know that now. Ruins, yeah, that was it. Ruins, put the chimney in there. What is that? Did I look at that earlier? Oh, you can put that around the chimney, I get it. Wait. No. That doesn't seem to fit. Am I missing something? What the fuck? The other one is fine, right? Okay. Okay. Let's delete that for now. That one's apparently bugged. Okay. Something is up. Why did that take so... something is seriously fucked. Let's try this one again. Yeah, no, that's bugged. Okay. Well, we'll deal with that later. And let's put that one, turn it 90 degrees and put it at the edge of our destroyed area here. Over here. Sink it into the snow. Maybe a bit like this so it looks even more damaged. And then, where are those wooden board piles? I think those are under France. I think they were first used on, what's it called? On Ramel. So maybe that's Ramel. No, okay. Wood planks? No, that's not it. No, that's something else. God, another thing I've never used. Where could they be? Ruins. Ruin set. Wooden trash. Yeah, that's it. Wooden trash. Alrighty. Put that shit in there. These you have to sink into the ground a bit, and you can also easily turn them around. And since this is out of bounds, I don't have to be, you know, all that careful with them. You have to be mindful sometimes of how they look. But in this case, it's probably fine to just place a few in there, so they give the impression of a destroyed hamlet over there. I think they're pretty light in terms of in terms of performance, so you can place a bunch. At least I've never heard any warnings about the performance of these. Ta-da! Okay, nice and destroyed. Then we're going to go back to Hemi-map mode, put a rough fence around it, but here I'm gonna be a bit different. First of all, 2 and 1, okay, yep, fine. Oops, misclicked. Just paint around like this. It's very hard to see it changing here. But that's fine. That's why you usually edit in the what's it called mode, in the grid with texture mode, but this way it also works. There we go. Now we have a little, don't even know if that shows up on the YouTube after they ran their compression over it. We have a nice mound of accumulated snow. What I kind of want to do now is place a bunch of fence poles in there. So it looks like maybe they actually harvested, so to speak, part of the fence to make their stuff, you know, their fortifications as well. But Russia, no fences. We're gonna use these stick fence poles. Just place a few of them at semi-regular intervals. And later we will also randomize them a bit so they look damaged and so on. Like that. Since this is out of bounds, you don't have to worry too much about providing proper cover for the players, so I'm just going to do it like this. Destroyed Hamlet. And of course there will be vegetation there as well. One more. Oh, need to be careful that they don't float. People do tend to notice that stuff. Like this. And just do it a bit like this for some of them, you know, make them look a bit rough around the edges. This is especially important on the closer ones here. Ah, fuck you. Here we go. Okay. Then next up we are going to place some vegetation here. I want to do the pines again. Let's do these faint wheat stuff here. Which did we use here? Well, I'm gonna use the whole set basically, so it doesn't matter. Deciduous tree 1 and 2, and then some of the hedgerow trees between them as like bushes. We will sink those in the ground. Okay. That's my way of randomizing that without actually, you know, moving it. And this a bit closer to here, this I will do by hand. This looks kind of cool. And another tree a bit closer here. Okay. And then next up, you know, I want to do that for a while now. I want to add some more damage to this whole area here. Like smaller kind of craters. Let's do them like 3. Brush strength 2 for the craters. And we're gonna start here. Some of them, or you know what, let's do it like this. This area will have mostly old craters. If you remember, some of the craters we did with mud, like they're fairly recent, and some of them are older, like snow has already fallen on them. So we'll make mostly old craters here, and then newer ones around the trench system, like the Russians found it, or you know, like finally managed to hone in on it. One here, one at the edge here. This whole area I want to be like, because there will be vegetation here as well, I will do that later though, but this whole area I want to be like a Russian approach route where they have some cover at least. Okay, and these will be old ones. One. A little circular motion here. And then of course we're painting them again. I do that basically like immediately, so I don't miss one of them, because they can be very hard to see, especially when there's just the white texture here. Here we go. Go back to detail texture mode, let's paint them. So, as we did before, first the rough snow, and then the not rough snow. Anyway, gonna speed it up here. And we are back. So some more shell craters here, and then we will place, and I will speed up for that again, but I will place some more, some more fresh ones around the trench system. And yeah, see you later. And we are back. Alright. So, next up, back to Toropino. So, 2 hamlets here on this side. Oh, nope, that's the recording. 2 hamlets here on this side. Let's check out this. Okay. Toropino. Yeah, these two, number 52 and number 61, I believe. There's no more fortifications here. The rest of the fortifications that they actually, so machine gun nests, there might be, or probably were trenches between them. The others are on the other side of the road, but we will do this side of the road first, just 2 destroyed hamlets with gardens. For one of them we will use the destroyed Russian house again, for the other one we will use that method. Now, one thing that is kind of annoying me is that one second. If your objects keep disappearing, what you can do is renderer min cull distance 2000 or whatever. This is hard on the performance, but that way you can get a better overview of your map. Okay. What did I want to do? Okay, yeah, right. Destroyed. Rural. Okay, 3 ruin, that was the one. And we will place one of the lockhouse ruins over here. And then the other one, not a ruin per se, but a destroyed mount will be here. But first, let's do this one. Now, usually the way these Russian huts work is they are very, or relatively close to the road. And then there's a garden behind them. So this we will almost think, because remember this area here is a piled snow. So we will really think that in here, like they just piled snow into this destroyed building, because obviously it's not really of use to the Germans much. Not really good cover. There we go. Let's make it like this, relatively close to the trenches, because that looks cool. Like they dug through it behind the trenches. Do it like this. That way prone people can use this as a position as well. You know what, a bit higher, because we will raise the terrain in it, of course. So, terrain, no, not texture, texturing comes later. 1-1, yep, why not? Let's just raise the terrain in here. Doesn't affect the trench as much, but... And here we go. That looks destroyed. And of course, who can forget our favorite static, let's just pull that one over, the chimney. And we will still not use that little hole here. I want that to be like a fairly central static to one of those. So what we can do later is place undergrowth type rubble around this chimney and similar chimneys, but undergrowth I add relatively late usually. And here we go. Destroyed. Then we are going to trace the outside with some kind of fence, and for that I will use the outline I made from that military topographic map. And this time we are going to use the garden fence, because why not? These are a bit more involved to place. Oh, Birk fence. Ah, those will do somewhere else, but garden fence. Fences, RU garden fence. The Euro wall is more for scenarios. One thing I want to try out, this garden fence broken. How big is that? Okay, so you can't easily do my old trick of just replacing them, unless I use this, then it might work, but even then yeah, well, actually, yeah, with this I can use that trick. Very nice. Okay, so we're gonna use this as our basic fence, and I kinda wanna run that fence to a degree along this trench as well. I think that could look really cool. Or even better, wait 1 second, that's the second one, just have to plan it a bit. Yep, let's put it like this, watch this. Actually, can use this to make it run flush to the fence. Of course we have to turn it around completely, but still. Yoink, okay, that's what I wanted. Okay. Start it here. Sink it into the ground a little bit. Move it tad away, and then go fencing starts. Wait. Like this. Yes, I know that looks stupid, but don't worry, I'm not an idiot. Well, not quite. Gonna fix that later. Switch it like this. As I said, I'm just tracing the outline of the topographic map, what that showed me of the village. And usually that's how you get the best effects. We'll place some kind of gate in here as well at some point. Switch it up a bit. This, and then let's look at the topographic, at the grid with texture map. Pull one more here. This we will have to delete. If this was outside, I would use it for a vegetation type area, but since it's in a garden, no. Turn that around. And let's be careful here. I see the problem, but we will fix that with the... No, wait. You know what, fuck it. Let's turn around here already. And we are back. So what we'll do now is my old trick. Just use these and this one as well. Replace objects with just the normal fence pole. Not rural. Why do I keep clicking on rural? I guess because it would make some amount of sense. So post. Boom. And yep. Same thing. I mean, this one we have to delete. This one gets posted. Let's see, let's post there. Then let's leave that part here a bit intact, but replace this one with a damaged. I hope this kind of fits. Yep, does. Then over here, this one we will post. Oh yeah, and let's post. I wonder if this will work. It probably won't fit completely, but I want to try it out. Garden fence door, and then probably a post is missing. It doesn't completely fit, but it fits in as much as this is actually kind of... If I pull this down here, boom. Yeah, let's put it like this. Problem is, of course, now the hinges are in the middle here, huh? Yeah, that's not that great, but what we can do, let's put it like this. Okay. We need to place some poles here, or posts as they are called in this one. Then attach the hinges to the post slightly. Move it so it looks open. Do it like this, and take the post, move it to roughly here, so it looks like this is where the door was closed originally, then these here replaced with posts, and we're done. We have a nice and damaged garden fence area, but you can still see the outline. Then next up we will make the accumulated snow with 1-1 just raised terrain around it, like this. Yep. And remember, this will also have a certain effect on gameplay, because people can use this as cover more easily than like just a normal stupid kind of fence. Okay, so that is that. Then add the terrain, gonna speed that up. And we are back. Anyway, since we do have that part here, I'm gonna add some vegetation around it. This, world machine created. I'll just get rid of it under the road here. But since we do have that world machine generated erosion line, I'm gonna get rid of it here because that's around the road. I don't want it there. And of course here as well. But inside the garden, I will orient the vegetation around it 1 second. And this is also what I'm going to do with the rest of these erosion lines. It's just that I haven't done it anywhere else yet, so this is kind of like a test case as well. But what I will do is, of course, lower the terrain around it, like I did already with some of them. And then there will be vegetation around this, namely the faint weed vegetation. And probably later also, what's it called? Later also automatically generated overgrowth. Gonna put this in there and use this as a low-lying kind of shrub or bush row, which is what is the main use of these thin St. Wheat hedgerows. Sink them in, good like this. And see what I'm getting at here. And this will be all around the map. Wherever these kind of now pink areas are, this is where I will place spotty kind of vegetation lines like this for cover. Using these, but mostly these hedgerow trees that I will sink into the ground to make them look like bushes, and then of course normal low-lying overgrowth that is automatically generated. That's basically my plan here, and I think that will look pretty cool and realistic as well, and good for gameplay because you have cover like this. And this one maybe a bit higher to add some visual interest. This is what I like to call the Bob Ross phase of mapping. Generally speaking, and this is kind of hard to explain, I'm trying to put it into words now, but I think you should make yourself palettes, like texture palettes. You already are forced to do that, you only have 6, but you also should make yourself like terrain palette. And one of my terrain palette that I will use on this is this texture combined with this kind of vegetation to make cover. So these are basically intertwined. Okay. And already, if you look from here, looks pretty cool, doesn't it? And of course there will be more added now. And yeah, let's take a last look at this. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, so we have this one done. Next up is this, and then the other side. But for that I will speed up again, because there will be not much new here. If there's something interesting, I will mention it. Alright, so let's see how it looks like from the ground. I always like to do that a lot after placing a new area. Over here we might have to place... oh, we can actually get out, because otherwise we might have to place something there in the interest of flow in order to make it easier to get out, but seems to work just fine. And these are... so this here will be the flag zone, including this ammunition area here. So this here will be what you're fighting for. I did decide to place another slit trench over here because there's very little cover, which is fine, because this is a map where I want people to actually use trenches for cover and you know, not buildings and stuff, at least in this part of the map. But yeah, because of that I added another slit trench here, which will also be inside the flag zone, so this will be basically the objective area. Now over here there's still, according to the topographic map, there's still a part of that village. Now according to this map there's only 2 hamlets here. Let's look at the other one. This was the really big one, right? Yeah, okay. And according to this map there were actually more hamlets here, so because of that I'm gonna place another one there, also in the interest of making the map a bit more varied in this area. And then of course there will be a row of garden back here, which I might actually extend a bit beyond where the grey part is, simply so there's more space, because this is where the German defenders will spawn, obviously. So, yeah, that is the plan. So we are going to speed up again and place another hamlet here. Alright, so I added the last hamlet over here, again almost completely destroyed. And then over here, because in Google Earth it kind of looks like that, there is like an orchard area here to fill out the rest of that topographic information. Now, according to the map, there was another German position, so there was a German MG position in the village on the other side of the road, and then another one kind of in the open, I would say maybe roughly here. I think in the map I might actually put that directly behind this vegetation ditch I have here, like here. Will be one German MG nest with a trench running along here, and then inside of the actual one second. Inside of the actual area there will be buildings here, and then another machine gun post relatively close to the road here that looks down into this orchard area. At least that's my plan here at the moment, but I will do that next time, obviously, because we are running out of time. Anyway, yeah, this Toropino area is taking shape. Now, one thing I'm not 100% sure about is if I will keep doing the videos like this, meaning just showing everything but sped up, or should I, you know, like finish stuff off video and then instead show only, you know, unique stuff. So I would make most of the villages, because it's always the same, you know, I make these little parcels of land basically always the same way. So should I show it all the time, or if I did something similar already, shall I just get rid of it and only show the unique stuff? You can answer that if you want in the comments, and we will see what I do next then. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching and have a nice day.